All right, the indictment has been read at this time. How does the defendant plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, you may be seated.
Today marks the beginning of the American Sniper trial. Earlier this morning, Eddie Routh pled not guilty, and Chris Kyle's wife, Taya Kyle, is the first witness to be called. Thanks for joining us on NTTV News at noon. I'm Bennett Morris.
And I'm Brittany Tamayo. Earlier this morning, Eddie Routh appeared in a Stephenville courtroom charged with 2 counts of capital murder. Routh is accused of murdering American Sniper veteran Chris Kyle back in February 2013. Chris Kyle and Chad Littlefield took Routh out to a shooting range to help him deal with post-traumatic stress disorder. Stay with us on NTTV News to keep you posted with the latest events throughout the trial.
President Obama sent his formal request to authorize the use of military force against ISIS to Congress this morning. If approved, it would authorize a 6-month U.S. military effort against the terror group. However, getting approval may be harder than it sounds. Early this morning, Speaker of the House John Boehner spoke to the press on whether or not he would approve the request.
But if we're going to authorize the use of military force, the president should have all the tools necessary to win the fight that we're in. And so, as you've heard me say over the last number of months, I'm not sure that the strategy that's been outlined will accomplish the mission the president says he wants to accomplish. And his point, the president's point, is that he wants to dismantle and destroy ISIS. I haven't seen a strategy yet that I think will accomplish that.
There has been no word yet on when a vote would take place.
You know, I was just outside and it was actually pretty chilly, but I hear it's supposed to warm up today.
You know, yeah, I think it is supposed to warm up, but I think it's supposed to get pretty cold tonight. What do you think, Jessica?
Thanks, Bennett. Well, it was pretty chilly this morning, but good news, it did warm up. It's 59 outside right now, partly cloudy. Feels like 59. Humidity is around 54%, and the wind speeds are at 13 miles per hour. So a small jacket might be a good idea, but it's still pretty warm. It's going to get colder tonight, though, so come back in a little bit, and I'll have more for you. Brittany, Bennett, back to you.
Thanks, Jessica. ISIS is changing the way it recruits jihadis from all over the world. An online guide has popped up that appears to show potential recruits how to sign up and leave their homes behind. CNN's Will Ripley has the story.
On the same social media sites where the FBI says ISIS is actively recruiting Western teenagers, a new terrorist training manual, this 50-page guidebook for prospective ISIS recruits looking to travel to Syria, who to call, where to go, even what to pack.
$543.
A 15-minute shopping trip.
Boots and jackets.
A quick look through the closet. We find pretty much everything the handbook says a wannabe jihadi needs for a pilgrimage to ISIS. By the looks of this pile, we could easily be going backpacking. The how-to guide also includes tips for slipping through airport security and sneaking across the Syrian border.
How to get there, get there without being intercepted by Western intelligence services, by Turkish intelligence services, how to mask your travel, what to bring on your trip.
CNN terrorism analyst Paul Cruikshank says there's no way to verify if this guide actually comes from ISIS or just a sympathizer.
Who are they targeting here?
This is an English-speaking jihadi, so they're targeting an English-speaking audience.
U.S. law enforcement knows ISIS is aggressively using social media to recruit American teens as young as 15, luring them with false promises of adventure and glory. Analysts say the more Westerners who join ISIS, the bigger the threat at home. And now, this guide makes recruiting that much easier. Will Ripley, CNN, New York.
Australian police have just charged 2 men with planning terror attacks following a major operation in Sydney. This comes just after a siege in Sydney at the Lind Cafe.
The terror threat here in Australia remains very much on high alert following the arrest of 2 men who police say were about to launch a terrorist attack. Counter-terrorism forces raided a home in Sydney on Tuesday after receiving a tip-off seizing a machete, a hunting knife, an ISIS flag and a video recording. According to New South Wales Deputy Police Commissioner Catherine Byrne, the men aged 24 and 25, unknown to police, were about to carry out an imminent attack as revenge for incidents overseas.
We believe that attack was going to occur yesterday. One of the items that will be introduced into evidence is a video, And in that video, we will allege that one of the men indicated that an attack was going to be carried out.
It comes less than 2 months after the Sydney siege, when a crazed gunman claiming to be an ISIS sympathiser took 18 people hostage in a cafe in which 2 of them were killed. Counter-terrorism raids were launched across Australia last year after police learned of alleged terror plots involving public beheadings and mass shootings. While more than 100 Australian citizens are believed to be fighting with ISIS in Iraq and Syria, security analysts are more concerned about the threats from lone wolves, predicting there will be more plots and attacks to come.
It's very hard to detect these lone wolf acts, and then added to the threat with returning foreign fighters, we're in for a busy time.
Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott here at Parliament House said this is a serious problem that's going to get worse before it gets better. And while security is tight and new laws are in place to stop foreign fighters from returning to Australia, police are calling on the public to remain vigilant and report any information that could prevent a terror attack. Anna Corrin, CNN, Canberra.
The suspect wanted in the shooting of San Diego sports director Kyle Kraska has surrendered to police. Authorities say that 54-year-old Mike Montana surrendered to police after a standoff that lasted for hours. Kraska was shot and wounded outside his home yesterday afternoon. His station reported that he is in good condition.
Coming up on NTTV News at noon, a major development in the Brian Williams scandal broke last night.
And New England has called in for some reinforcement to help out with all of the snow.
We will be right back.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Don't expect to see Brian Williams back in the anchor chair anytime soon. NBC announced last night that the star anchor will be suspended immediately. As the managing editor and nightly news anchor, he will go 6 months without pay. Williams has been under fire since the end of January after his report of his experience in the Iraq War were called into question. In a staff memo, NBC News President Deborah Turnus said that Mr. Williams has clearly misrepresented his experiences. She conceded that it was clear that on other occasions, Brian has done the same while speaking in other venues. While NBC executives are being critical of Williams, they hope he can overcome this scandal. There is no word yet on how long the network's investigation will last. NBC has announced that Lester Holt will take over NBC Nightly News while Williams serves his suspension.
It's the end of a comedy era. Jon Stewart, host of The Daily Show, has decided to end his 17-year tenure on the program. Stewart made the announcement at the end of last night's show. Andrew Spencer reports.
It's been an absolute privilege. It's been the honor of my professional life.
During Tuesday's taping of The Daily Show, Jon Stewart dropped the bomb. He'll be leaving his chair before the end of the year.
This show doesn't deserve an even slightly restless host, and neither do you.
Stressing that he still has months to go before he leaves, Stewart tried to keep his emotions in check, but he did choke up when he was talking about his coworkers.
I love them and respect them so much.
A lot's changed since Stewart first took the helm of The Daily Show in 1999. Amid his growing influence, he unabashedly challenged traditional news media.
Your partisan, what do you call it, hacks.
Wait, John, wait. And politicians alike.
Will you take the opportunity right now to repudiate and denounce President Bush?
We should spend a minute just acknowledging what Jon Stewart has done, because he's revolutionized the news or satire or whatever it is in an unbelievable way.
For a comedian with access to presidents, whoever follows him has large shoes to fill. I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
In an interview with CNN's Christiana Monpour, Stewart was asked what the future would hold for him.
In my mind, this is all chicken. I'm just making chicken. Sometimes I make a cutlet. Sometimes I make a nice teriyaki. Sometimes I just grind it up and feed it to baby birds.
And
but it's still chicken.
And do you
understand what I'm
think
saying?
this chicken
Yes.
might decide to be a regular news anchor? I mean, a lot of
Regular
talk.
news?
Yeah, regular news.
Like yourself, like a real journalist.
Like myself.
I would say no. I would
Like
say
a Meet the Press.
no.
No.
I would say no.
Like-
that I don't believe is in danger of happening.
No.
Yeah, that I can pretty confidently state that I will not have my own room of situations. That's just a name I came up with. A room of situations.
It is unclear when Stewart will sign off. His contract expires in September.
The Massachusetts National Guard arrived yesterday in Weymouth, Massachusetts to help with snow removal. After more than 70 inches of snow has fallen in the last 3 weeks, major transportation services have been closed indefinitely as more snow is expected today and into tomorrow.
You know, those people just can't catch a break up there.
I know, we're so lucky here in Texas that we have warm weather. Jessica, how's it looking out there?
Well, Brittany, it's looking beautiful outside all around the area. It's great outside right now. Thankfully, no snow like up in the northeast. We have 54 in Wichita Falls, 56 in Gainesville, 67 in Fort Worth, and 64 in Dallas. It's beautiful all around the area. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the rest of the week. There's a high of 64 today with a low of 38. Partly cloudy outside, but the sun is going to come out for tomorrow. High of 54, low of 34. It's going to be a little cold outside, though, but good news, it's going to warm up on Friday. High of 66 with a low of 38. Another beautiful day on Saturday for Valentine's Day. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Much better than up in the northeast, so hopefully everyone can enjoy that Valentine's Day love. Brittany, Bennett, back to you.
Coming up after the break, one of the largest lotteries in history is coming our way. We will have the details in just a few moments.
Don't go anywhere.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
I've come up with a family emergency plan.
What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
Me too. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Don't be surprised to see long lines at the gas stations.
People are rushing to gas stations and convenience stores for a chance to win the third largest jackpot in U.S. history.
No one won Saturday's drawing, so tonight's drawing has climbed to an estimated $485 million.
If the winner opts for the lump sum payment, they'll take home nearly $328 million before taxes.
Coming up on the NTTV Nightly News, we will have the latest in today's American Sniper trial.
And we'll find out how UNT has received top flight status for supporting our military. Thanks for watching NTTV News at noon.
Join us again tomorrow here on North Texas Television.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Mom, can I have $1? I think my purse is upstairs on the bed. It's not here. Check the dining room. No. The upstairs closet?
Mom,
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.